Hi there, this is Superintendent Don Vanderholm, joining you again for another weekly update. This week I'd like to focus on the fall of 2020. I'd like to say that we have the reopening plan ready to go, but I can't tell you that today. What I can share with you is what I know, and that has been my commitment all along, to give you the information that I have as it's available. Right now we are still waiting for that final OSPI guidance, which has now been delayed and is scheduled to be out by the end of this week. When it does, and I've had a chance to work through it with our committees, I'll be sharing you more information about it. So for right now, let's talk about what we know. We're going to talk a little bit about health and safety, summer of 2020, and teaching and learning. First, some potentially good news for the summer of 2020. With summer sports, last Friday, the governor sent out some new guidance based on what phase each county is in. Those counties in phase 3 can now hold contests this summer with a maximum of 50 participants. That would be everyone that's there on site. There are health requirements to enforce that'll need to be followed, but that is some potentially good news for our athletes to get back out and be active this summer. We know health and safety is going to be a big part of what we do from now going forward, and certainly this fall. There will be enhanced health and screening requirements. Again, we're still waiting to see what those exactly look like, but based on the Department of Health guidance that comes out now, we've got some ideas that social distancing, masks, temperature checks are going to likely be a part of what we do next year. We'll need to keep looking at the current trends in Adams County, and hopefully those will keep going in the right direction. We'll keep progressing in our phases, and we'll also need to be preparing for any virus resurgence in the fall. Okay, as far as teaching and learning and the planning process, it is quite likely we will be doing something different in the fall than we would probably like to do. Again, that OSPI guidance that was originally scheduled to be out Monday, June 8th, will be out by Friday, June 12th. I want to talk a little bit about the 3 models that OSPI has been looking at for reopening schools. These are taken from the original 7 models, and that's why they're not numbered 1 through 3. Instead, OSPI keeps referring to these as models 3, 5, and 7. So model 3, split and rotating schedules with distance learning. The key characteristics of this model are split or alternating schedules on school sites, combined with substantial portions of learning occurring off-site in the form of online courses, video conferencing. I'm just going to say distance learning. And the idea is that half of your student population would report to school for half or full days, depending on how a district wanted to determine that. And the remaining half of the population would participate in distance learning. That would allow the student population to meet whatever social distancing demands or whatever other health requirements are in place. Model 5, this phased-in opening with distance learning, is meant to be more of a by-county or other geographic slice to meet social distancing demands. Some of the key characteristics of this model include facilities open for some groups of students while others remain closed until a later date, or certain community characteristics are met. So students who are not attending open schools are also participating in distance learning. Number 7, Continuous Learning 2.0. It's an improved version of current continuous distance learning models to meet social distancing demands and any new stay-at-home orders from the governor or county health department. The one thing that was emphasized in some meetings I was in today about all 3 of these models is that we are going to be working closely with our local or county health departments. I think that was the most encouraging news I heard today, as we would like to have something that fits more to our region and our area than just be a statewide plan. In fact, just yesterday, I added my name to a letter addressed to the governor from all superintendent districts in our region, stating that we believe eligibility for reopening for our schools should be considered on a county-by-county basis in accordance with the state's established criteria. We are urging the governor to please consider alignment of the reopening of our public schools with the Safe Start Washington, a phased approach to recovery plan. And we urged him to consider the well-being of our students, along with all the risk factors in making a decision, and reminded him that our community members need schools to be open to support their return to work in any type of meaningful manner. So let's talk more about making the plan. I've invited a stakeholder team, which is comprised of those who also served on the continuous learning model team, but is expanded to include over 35 participants, to meet starting June 10th and begin the planning process. That team is comprised of administrators and educators to cover every facet of our school facilities. We have school board representatives, students, parents, and we've invited healthcare representatives from both our local hospital and Adams County to join with us, as well as city representatives from both Lind and Ritzville. Now, this plan will be a work in progress, and as I've said many times, we would like to have this done and ready to give to you and say, here's what we're going to do. In fact, you may have heard that some districts already have a plan. I'm not sure how they're doing that, because it doesn't make sense to get ahead of OSPI's guidance and then have to go back and retract things. As I spoke with other superintendents today in a regional meeting, that seems to be everyone's consensus. Let's wait and see what OSPI gives us. However, all districts are engaged in a vigorous pre-planning process. We are going to get this plan to you as soon as possible. And again, I will keep you updated along the way with what I know when I know it. So with that, I'm going to end this update by reminding you that New Learning is going to end this Friday, June 12th. We appreciate all our students and parents for their participation during this difficult time. Next week will be dedicated to finishing up assignments and the checkout process for students. If you are uncertain of the student checkout process, please contact your school building and they'll let you know everything you need to know. Thanks again for hanging with us these last 13 weeks. Until next time, this is Superintendent Vanderholm saying, stay safe and be well.